Okay. All right, I got some drum editing to do. Years ago I put some stuff up on Fiverr or one of those Upwork kind of sites, Air Gigs or something. I got to figure out which one it was because I still get these jobs from there and the issue is I I made this way too cheap. So, but at the time I really needed material for showing these and like tutorials and things. So it was good. But now I actually have a rate sheet you guys have been helping me with. So if you guys want to see this, I'm still way, 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 way below market prices, but I think I'm okay. I could probably still use some help with this, but it's not what I'm charging for these edits. So um, let me just pull this up real quick. This is Drive. So I have editing. Okay, so I think it's in here. So this one's slow song. Let me look. There's some instructions in the email says we just want everything locked to the grid, tempo at 120 beats per minute. And these guys actually like it pretty solid. And we just had those new. Oh, there were some new things about how the dynamic split or whatever added. And oh man, I'm trying to remember now. Shoot, it was some. It's like majorly time saving. Let me first just save this project real quick. So Drive, drum editing. Okay. And I'll make a folder called edited for this. And we say 120 beats per minute for this. Check settings. 120. Okay, and there was some recent changes to the way dynamic split work as far as I can tell. So let me just drop these in here real quick. This is how I'm going to figure this out. Insert media on separate tracks. Let's see, kick, snare bottom, snare top, overhead. Put the room down at the bottom. Then tom, and then the two different toms. So I'm not 1,000% sure how I'm going to do this real right off the bat. And it looks like this is at 44K, so I'm probably going to have to give this back at 44K. I could change my sample right here. That's going to mess up a lot of stuff. Let me go to project settings. Oops. Ooh. So I'll change this to 44K and see what happens. This might. Seems like it's okay. So it's still sitting at 48K just because the sound card's locked to that. So hopefully that actually does okay. See how it says resample from 44K, even though project settings say 44K. I could change that. It's going to mess up on Restream and the internet and all that stuff. So what I want to check. Let me find out where the one is first. Hold on. Looks like they're calling their one the same as I'm calling it. So what I want to do is add the stretch markers. You know, before we used to sum the kick and snare together so we could get all those. But what I'm going to do is I think that this lets you do something different now. Like it's select one item, selects all items in group. I think that's the let me check the options. Oop. Yeah, it's not there. Somewhere there's an option that selecting grouped items, item grouping. Let's see. Selecting one item selects groups. Okay, so it's right there. So when I click on this, what I want happen is that it drops the dynamic splits on all the kicks. We're going to find out if that's true. So I'm going to go to view dynamic split. So I'm just doing this pretty much automatic. Reaper actually handles this pretty well. I'm still going to go through by hand. You'll see. I got add stretch markers to selected items and grouped items. Now the trouble is going to be that it's not going to hit the snares, right? It's only going to get the kicks here, but it's going to add it to all the tracks. Control Alt Shift T. I'm going to take a look at the threshold to catch this. So this kick is pretty high up there. So let me change this threshold up here. So these dotted lines, again, I'd love to see easier colors, but these dotted lines should get me all the kicks. So I want to drop, I just want to add the stretch markers. Now it should add them to all the grouped items. See that? Add stretch markers to selected items and group markers. Blammo, it's on all of them. However, notice how the snare doesn't have any. Now before, if I were to add these to the snare, it would erase all the stretch markers on the other tracks. But I think that the new versions of Reaper are going to let me do this. So first of all, I want to change the threshold. I don't really want the low snare hits in there. And we're probably going to do the toms by hand. That's okay. So let me see. Dynamic split. So see, here's the dots. So if I add these, is it going to take away the ones from the kick, or is it going to add them all to all the tracks? I think that's how it works now. So let's do it. Add stretch markers. Blammo. Okay, we got them all. Okay, great. So that makes, before this was such a time consuming thing, but this is actually just fixes everything. So let's just going to go through this a little piece at a time. I'm not just going to slam them all at once. That's a good way to get things all messed up. There's still some trouble with the way the actions work. What I'm going to be doing here is find shortcut. I'm going to hit this X key. And so I have X, snap stretch markers in time selection to grid. And sometimes that ends up covering up other things, moving them too far if you don't have the resolution set high enough. There's a lot of things that can happen. So we're gonna do this somewhat by hand. It actually takes a lot longer, but I'm less scared of it. And I have my number keys set so that I can change from measures to half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes. So what's going to work here? Is that a quarter note? Yeah, so I need eighth notes at least. I might even need 16th notes, but I'm just going to select a good chunk over here. And hopefully, see, what is that? That's like 16 measures. It's not even that much. I'm going to hit X, and let's see what this sounds like now. Okay, you hear that phasing? Okay, so that ain't good. All right, so why was that phasing? Did it not move the other tracks? Let me check. Oh, it moved them all. Okay, so why are we getting that phasing? Hopefully it doesn't have something to do with my sample rate change. Let's see what I got for project settings. Ooh, okay, well, here's the problem. It's on Elastic Pro. I want this on Elastic Efficient. For some reason, Efficient seems to work way better for this stuff than Pro. So this is let me change this as default project settings real quick. But I'm gonna change that back to 44K. So now I've got this on Elastique 3.3 efficient, balanced stretch marker mode. Should be okay. Let's see what happens when I snap it this time. So listen for that phasing again. So it's so weird how the Pro mode phases. So, and here's where I'm worried. Sometimes you get these little things where it hides itself. Like this little flam right here. What's going on with that? So if I want to remove this, just to take a look. Okay, so no, it's still right. All right, so let me take a look. Because there's times where it stretches and it does something funny, like you might hide a part or something gets messed up. Normally I put a marker up to where I stretched it at. And do I go even this close where I just do like the hi-hats and everything? Not usually. But I just hit the wooden drums for the most part. Okay, so far so good. When we get this next chunk, the only problem is really going to be if there's something faster than the eighth notes I've got it set to. But even still, if it goes far enough off, they will shift and cover each other. See, here's one right here. This might be a problem. So let me move these. I'm gonna put a stretch mark, or I'm gonna put a marker right here so I know where I am. It's funny because this band that always has me editing their drums, they play so on time. I shouldn't even bother, but you know, this is what they want. So. See, so I wonder about stuff like this. And what's going on here? Why is this ahead? What is that? Did something get unlocked? Are these guys moving together? Are they moving to their own beat? I'm a little bit sketched about this. So I wonder about this one. Should I move that so that in case they're putting something on there? Because it's on a quarter. What is this? So here we got something that could make some trouble. What is this? This really looks like something's getting stretched. Oh, okay, here's a huge problem. Okay. See the stretch marker didn't end up on the other track. All right, so this is no good. So let me how do you select all tracks and group? Control G, okay. So I'm going to erase all the stretch markers from here. So we just saw that not all the stretch markers ended up on all the tracks. So let me try this again. Okay, so see, it just added stretch markers to all the tracks. Now, when I do it to this track, is it gonna... You saw how some of the stretch markers didn't end up where they're supposed to be. So I still don't know the new rules for how this works. So when I add them here, is it taking off all the ones that are already there? I want to add them to it. And there was a script that actually let me do this. But how about this? Let me change this back to selecting one item selects group. And let's see what happens when I do this again. Control dynamic. See, now it's taking them all off. Let's see. I really just want these two tracks to matter. I don't want the other tracks triggering this stuff. Yeah, I'm really not sure of the rules that are involved here. Let me just see what happens if I add the stretch markers. Luckily, these two are going to be the loudest, but no, you know what? Here, let's do this. See what happens when I just select these two tracks and add the stretch markers. So does that add them to? That's the kick. It's getting all the snares. This probably does what I want it to do. This would be the same thing as if I sum these together. The kick and the snare, and acted on them that way. This kick didn't get it right here. What's going on here? There seems to be kind of floppy here. Okay, so I know it's good up until here. So let me select all this. I'm going to knock them into place. Okay. Yeah, I wonder about this one. I really probably should. I don't want to get, see, this is where you get into this like micromanaging stuff, but see, now we don't have those weird plans. But here we got to get these guys. So that's going to be, it's going to be a pretty much judgment call here. So I want to see these toms. Seems like it's just 3 hits here, these guys. So I'm going to go to 16th notes and see if that works. Nope. Go to 32nd notes. That does work. I don't know if that's going to be right, but let's just try it. And then, oh, okay, shoot. Oh man, I just screwed the pooch there. Control Alt Shift T. I want to change my detection settings down here. Okay. So let's see what we got here. See, I wonder if this is really that 30-second note or whatever, or if we should be doing something slightly different. Because look how far this guy is off here. This is really, I really think that this, something over here should be the next one. So I think there's a problem with the playing here. So let me, I'm just going to move this here to the 1, and it makes it look like everything else works. I'm going to go back to 8th notes, and I'm betting, you see how fast this is here, 1 1/4 times speed, that these should all just move over to the right. Where's that tom? Maybe it's 16th notes. Yeah, because see that's starting to look decent. And then look how fast that is. So let's go to 16th notes. That seems much more like it. Okay, let's listen to that. Yeah, way better. Okay, so that was a problem. Something got kind of squished over. I'm not sure if that was from the stretch or if that was actually how they played it. So I'm going to move this marker to here so I know where I'm starting from here. Let me go back to 8th notes. Actually, seems like there's some toms getting here. That's going to be actually a little bit tricky, but let me get the rough edits done first. see that? See how that fell apart there? Why? Kicks that didn't get got. Why is that? Oh, okay. So check this out. Now it's looking like. Now it's looking like the kick lost its transient markers when I did the snare one. So there's something going on. There's some kind of option. Okay, I got to take all these out again. Control A. Choose this whole thing. So I'm just going to take out all the markers again. Start over from scratch. It's not getting all the markers on here. Try this again. See, I don't want all those really quiet ones on. This is about right here. So is it going to get both tracks? It looks like it is, but then you keep seeing them disappear. I think there's actually a bug going on here, but let's just find out first. Okay, so I want to see the kick get it without the snare. I want to see the snare get it without the kick. Why is that ahead like that? Can you find that spot with the toms? See, now it's doubled up. That's unfortunate. I don't want that to happen. See how there's two right next to each other. There should be a way to keep that from happening with the minimum time here, minimum slice length. But I think it's just being ignored. So let me change this to seconds. Okay. Oh. Let me measure this real quick. So between these two is 18 milliseconds. And what I have on here is a minimum of 69 or 20. So there really shouldn't be any way that can happen. But it's happening. So let me try this again. I'm going to change this to 50. Select both these tracks. And see, it's still doing it. We don't want to see that. And if I do reduce splits, yeah, it takes them down, but that's not really what I want to happen. I still don't know exactly what happened to erase some of those markers. And did it just put new ones on all the tracks, or did it let's see. Yeah, I really don't know what the new rules are for this is. There is a script that lets you take stretch markers and save them and put them in a new track and stuff, but let's just gonna do this again. Okay, so when I get up to what this tom is. There's something to do with these new rules that I just don't know, and it's really messing me up. But we'll see how this works. So again, these guys got to move forward. We need 16th notes. And then this one, I'm going to need to get a transient marker on the tom. I swear this is what I did last time, but somehow the transient markers disappeared on some of the tracks. Okay, so let's hear this. Go back to 8th notes. Okay, so the problem ones are going to be like this, where the kick and snare are hit at the same time. I don't know who to make first, the kick or the snare. So usually flams you kind of do before the beat. So I'm going to take off this one on the snare. I'm going to have to look through this section to see if there's a lot of these. It seems like there are. I generally don't like the kick and snare being hit at the same time anyway, but sometimes that's what you got to play, or what you really want to play. I'm just looking for double stretch markers right next to each other like this one right here. Here's another one, I think. Yep, right here. Another one. Yeah, this seems like it's way too early. All right, let's see. Yeah, it looks like. Wait, where does that happen? Quite a ways down here. So I want them all to move down. When I move this, let's see what happens. G. Nope, it's only moving the one. How do I move it so it moves all the ones after it? Is it shift? Nope. Is it alt? Yep. Okay, see that? So when I hold alt, it moves all of them after that. Because it starts getting drastic over here. I'm gonna leave this part alone for a second. Now I'm going to snap all these to the grid here. So the question is going to be, do I put these toms on the grid, or are they going to be pretty well done already? See, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at 16th notes. All right, so what's going on here? Why? See, that seems more correct. I'm just looking for some doubled up ones. I don't know why the dynamic split doesn't actually follow the rules you give it to not have those things so close to each other. So this one, the kick's actually before the snare, but I'm still gonna treat it like I did before. Yeah, I'm gonna go till here. Wait, what is that? All that I did? No way. Hold on. Let's see what happens. And see, I'm barely anywhere on this song already. Just at the beginning. But mostly because I still don't quite understand the new rules of the dynamic split. Really would like to get rid of those doubles. Let's look in repack and see what there's in here. Repack. Browse packages. I got some kind of error going on with this that I need to fix. I'm not really sure how to fix it. Watch, you'll see it. Right there. It's this Elizabeth Harmon stuff and the Nabla tools I got to get rid of. Okay, so let's stretch. So see this right here? Save stretch markers and restore stretch markers. I wonder if that lets you add and take away from the dynamic split ones, if that's the ones I was looking at. But I think it was from either MPL or IXIX that I was looking at. Copy stretch markers. Paste stretch markers. Yeah, who's this Archie guy? I don't know Archie. Here's MPL. Copy selected item stretch markers. Paste and replace stretch markers to selected item. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, but let's see if I can't go on from here. I'm really wondering about how this one keeps getting shifted over because it really shouldn't. Okay, so let's see where we are. That's pretty far. You know, you would think I could just double click this track and just snap them all over, but if it's too far ambiguous, it'll cover it up and you won't even know that you got an error in the song because it's just gonna be hidden from you. I wish there's better ways around that, but so far as there's not. So I have to make sure that they're pretty close to the target. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. Nope, I hit the wrong button. Okay. So let's see if I messed anything up between these two markers. So far, so good. So what? You see how far off these guys are? That's a problem. And it's so hard to grab the marker the way you want. These guys so far away. That's so weird. Over here, it's really bad. Let's see. Look at measures. Okay, so this one, now we're getting pretty far out. So let's see how far off that is. Oops. Okay, where does it get really ugly? Maybe here. It's going to need the 16th note. Okay, I'm going to do it between these two markers here. Let's check it. seems pretty good. I got another doubled up one right here. That seems good for that. Actually, I gotta get, I'll be back.